Welcome back to Juicy Peach's YouTube channel. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with every SSBBW you know. You're in for a great topic today. We believe it affects everyone in our community. If you feel good about it, make sure you leave us a comment. We love to hear your feedback. Enjoy. Hey friends, I am back. The Juiciest Peach is back with my sister, Katrina Barnes Walker, Lippy Warrior. You guys may have seen Katrina on many things. Her face is plastered all over lymphedema and lipedema awareness. She is also running for the face of fat fashion, and we'll talk about that a bit later. But I'm so glad to have her here with me today. Katrina and I are family. We are just connected by the heart, connected by circumstances, connected in love. And we are also both SSBBWs. We're tall and short. Trina is 6'4". Are you 6'2"?
6'2".
6'2", and I am 5'2". So we got a little bit of difference there. They call me a 2x4. So, you know, my height is in my width. But we both have had a lot of the same similarities in terms of just the healthcare and society logistically being able to accept us and accommodate our weight. And so when I decided to come back for this topic, I knew that she was going to be the one that I wanted to help me to kind of share some experiences that will help you to feel a lot more at home in this community and know that you're not alone. The last time I was here, I was with three other ladies, and we talked about just being able to be out and just enjoy life and to live life abundantly. And I don't want anyone to walk away thinking that I was saying that was easy. I've lived in a supersized body since I was 16 years old. It's not easy. It's absolutely not. There are a lot of places that won't accommodate us, a lot of places that we would not feel comfortable in. Some places we couldn't even walk in. It just would not work. And so I understand that. And I understood that when I wanted to begin to get people out, and when I started Juicy Peaches, that it was going to be a challenge. It's still challenging, but I'm still committed. And we're committed. And Katrina and I have a lot of the same thoughts when it comes to our mission to get women out and enjoy the supersized community at large, men and women out and enjoying life and feeling like you belong in society. But one of the things that was important to me, and somebody wrote to me and said, I appreciate you being able to be confident, but I don't have that. And so I think that that's something that a lot of us struggle with. And even the most confident of us can have some moments when somebody will just tear at our spirit, and we've got to take the time to just revitalize, to re-energize, to build ourselves back up. Because the bottom line is that if we don't care about us, who the hell is?
Who?
We got to do it. We've absolutely got to do it. So I asked Katrina to come on here and talk to me with me today about advocating for yourself in the healthcare community. And once we get through with this, if you're looking at this and you automatically thought of an occasion where you wished you had had a little more self-advocacy, where you could have said a little bit more when it came to your health, or if you're dealing with a health issue now and you just have been putting off going to the doctor because you already know they're going to say it's because of your weight, here's the time to really listen to us and to start to begin to develop those coping skills, because you got to do it. You absolutely have to do it. I was saying to Trina, and I were talking a couple of weeks ago, and some other ladies, and a lot of what the healthcare community puts out just cannot be true. It cannot. Everything is not dependent on your weight. You go to the doctor for an earache and you really should lose weight. Your finger is messed up. Could be because you're working. No, because you really got to lose weight. Now, come on. Sometimes you got to just cry BS and say, listen, I need you to treat me as a human being today. Not treat my weight, treat me as a human. Because the bottom line is that even if it is based on weight, I can't lose weight tonight. I'm not going to lose enough weight to meet your BMI average. So you got to treat me today. And I was treated when I go to the hospital, you know how you hear everybody saying it's fat people everywhere and y'all gonna die and this is gonna happen. When I go to the hospital, and I've only been a couple of times just to stay, but the one thing that always sticks out at me is why they don't ever have a chair I can fit in. If everybody's so fat and it's all the fat people that's coming in here and breaking the healthcare system, y'all ain't got no chairs for us? Because all the chairs are skinny people. Did you just want me to stand? Am I just not welcome here? When you got to get a gown, oh, let me go find her a big boy gown. Well, I'll be damned. They got a name. They can't just get me a hospital gown that's the size this. You got to go get the big boy gown for the big boys. So the big girl got to wait for the gown. And then you got two of them on this ward. So now you got to go find another one. Because we were taught in economics that America was about supply and demand. So if that's the case, if it's so many fat people, so why aren't we demanding to have more products that are for us? Somebody's telling a lie.
Yes, exactly.
So it's either that or two things, Trina. Either they lying or they don't give a damn about us. And whichever one it is, it could be both. Exactly. Whichever one it is, it got to let us know, okay, if these people don't give a damn about me, I got to. I got to care enough about me to say something. When they come up with the BS, you got to treat me like I'm a human. Is that the same thing that you would have done with him at that 200 pounds or 150? Give me the same services.
And they don't.
Absolutely not.
Because we're prejudged. As soon as we walk through the door of the doctor's office, we are prejudged. Like, I've walked in doctor's offices and literally they'll put me in the room. The doctor comes in, see me. She was like, oh, I'll be back. She goes out. I can hear you, lady. Do a full workup because I'm sure she has everything wrong with her. Listen. And me being me, I live for these moments. Understand?
Right.
Me, I live for moments like that. But everybody's not like me.
Right.
That's when I feel some type of way because some people don't know how or where to start to advocating for themselves.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So it's really, really hard when I see other people going through this. It's hard for me to sit by and not say nothing because number one, that's not my character. Right. Number two, I'll be ready.
Yeah.
I'll be ready because it's disheartening. It's disgusting. It's like one of the most evil things you can do to people. Number one, if I'm in here, 9 times out of 10, I have a medical reason why I am in here.
Right.
So I already have something going on, or even if it's for a checkup, like most people are nervous during the checkup, like, because you never know what you're going to find. You never know what you're going to get.
Right.
What happened to the bedside manner? What happened to the compassion? What happened to the being in this job because I love people and I want to help? It is not about that. It is about, listen, politics and money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the politics of it is that the healthcare industry has a bias against obesity. And because it's against obesity, then now it's trickled down to obese people. But the reality is, if we look around, weight loss is everywhere. It ain't just us. Everywhere you look at, somebody trying to lose weight. Somebody 110 pounds got to lose a few pounds because they're too pudgy, and they on every diet and everything. So it's so that we can lose weight, because that's what society has said, is that we've got to lose weight so that we can not only feel better but look better. And you can be healthy and less, but that's a lie. That's an absolute lie.
Because skinny people dying every day from fat people problems.
That's exactly what I'm saying. You said it was just fat people, but it's just fat people dying from the heart disease or the diabetes or the this or the that. Because it's a whole bunch of skinny people. When you go to get a coffin, they only got coffins for skinny people. You got to pay extra. We got to widen it up because we got to do something special for you. Well, how is this? If we ones that's unhealthy and dying and dropping, like, why do we always got to get something else done? Or we don't have that. We got to order out.
It's customized.
Exactly.
And I can attest to that because I've already picked out my casket. I've already did everything I need to do for death purposes. For this, hold on one second. I'm sorry. Thank you. For this, I had to get what they call a casket and a half, an extra large casket.
When my mom passed, I had to, you know, you have to get the oversized casket, or oversized plot, or oversized this, because they haven't even
oversized money.
Exactly.
When my daughter passed away, because my daughter was a big girl, my daughter got cremated. The man tells me I gotta pay $1,000 extra to get my daughter cremated because of her size. I said, for you to turn the dial?
Right.
That's what you gonna do for the little?
Are they using more smoke or fire?
But for you to turn the dial, it's gonna cost me an extra $1,000 to get my child cremated. For you to push a button.
Right.
Like I didn't understand that. I had to pay extra money for every day that she was in refrigeration because of her size. For cremation now.
Right.
Or cremation turned out to be $10,000.
You might as well have buried her at that price.
Come.
Mercy.
Come.
So this proves that it's everything. And when it comes to us, it's always going to be more. And I think about when the scripture said, to whom much is given, much is required. And it is absolutely the truth. Absolutely. But with that also comes the requirement that we have to stand up for ourselves more. I went to the hospital recently, well, about a year ago. This was after COVID, and I was having some problems breathing, but also had some swelling in my legs that I wasn't used to. But I had been off work for some time. I was just kind of sitting, and my doctor said, let me just make sure you go in. I want to make sure that you don't have any blood clots forming. So let's go in and get you the test.
Right.
So I go in to get these ultrasounds of my legs, and I'm there, and they're running, you know, all of these tests, and they send the technician comes in, and as she gets to the door, she just looks. And she turned and I said, hi, how are you? And she said, I'll be back. She never introduced herself, never said anything. And so I already feel like this is going to be a situation. She goes out, says something to the nurses, comes back in, and she's standing next to me with her machine with an attitude. And I said, you know, thank you for, you know, coming to administer the test. If you need me to move anywhere or whatever, just let me know. You know, I'll do it. And she said, I don't even know why they sent me here. This ain't going to work. And I said, what do you mean? And I said, I've had this done before. You know, I had it done a few years ago, and it was fine. And she said, I know the capacity of my machine. It's not going to get all up in there. I said, well, just take your machine and go, ma'am. Have a good day. And no, well, I'm not mean. I said, you meant it exactly the way you said it. Take your machine and go, ma'am. Have a good day.
Immediately take it and go.
So she's standing there, and she walked out, and I guess she went to the nurses. Well, I'm calling the nurse, and I asked for the doctor that I'd seen. And I said, listen, I came in here, and I give respect to everybody, and I demand respect. I said, the technician that came in here, this is what she did. I said, I don't want her near me. She can take the machine and go, which is what I've asked for. And if I can't get this test done now or here, just let me know, and I'll go somewhere else and get it. And he apologized, and he said, you know, just sort of, well, she's the one on the shift now. I'm going to keep you anyway. And so whoever's on shift tomorrow, they'll come and do the test. But it was like, okay, well, that's just the way it is.
Another day.
Exactly.
Somebody
to go through this again, and then to have the anxiety over the night that you're going to have the same situation again tomorrow, and where are you going to go? How am I going to get through it? Well, the next day was fine. The lady came in early. I greeted her. She introduced herself, and I said the same thing. And she said, we're going to be okay. This ain't my first rodeo. And she did it. And she said, I'm going to have to push it a little harder. And we got it done. And she said, these are good. I said, are the scans good? She said, scans are good. I saw everything I needed to do. It was fine.
Yeah. But she used that same machine.
Exactly. It's the same machine that the other one. I know my machine. I know the capacity of it. But she looked at me and saw my size, and that was it. It was at the same hospital that I came in, and I walked in the door. I did what I was supposed to do. I sat down and did the intake, the triage. I walked everywhere they told me to. And then when the nurse comes to get me, she says, where your cane? I said, my what? Your cane, you got a walker? I said, no, I don't. Well, how you guys, somebody to help you? I said, help me do what? Because we're going to have to walk a bit. And I said, okay, well, let's just walk. We literally walked right across the hall. Literally. It maybe 10 steps. And when we got there, I said, is this where we were going? And she just looked at me. So you all just look at my size and you just assume that I'm not capable of doing anything. And if I couldn't walk,
they judge.
Then that's fine too. Because there's some whole bunch of folks in the wheelchair out there that ain't my size. I didn't ask you, see you asking them no questions.
Come on.
But it's those kind of attitudes that we see every time that we're going somewhere. If we don't speak up, if we stand there and let the tears flow and we just allow it, we're never going to get the help that we need. We're never going to get the health that we deserve. Because the reality is everybody else is coming to the doctors and the dentists and whatever, and they're just sitting down and they're getting the help. And we're going in and we're being berated or like you said, prejudged, and we're walking out in tears and not going back. We can't keep doing that. We got to stand up. We got to demand the help that we deserve.
It's a must. For me, I have been discriminated in the medical field so much it definitely is not funny, by major doctors, by nurses, by techs, by everybody. And one thing about me, like, I had to build tough skin. Like, I had to really affirm myself, and I had to get to the point where I had to advocate for me. I got to say something. I have to stand up for myself, because if not, the next person that come in, they may not be as strong as me, because you never know what nobody is dealing with.
Right.
This person can go home and commit suicide, do anything, fall into a Great Depression, anything. You never know what people are dealing with and how people are feeling inside. And I thank God that he built me, he made me for it tough. Like, he built me that way and gave me that, because now, like, it get to the point when I'm going to new places and I get on the phone. Listen, if you got a problem with me being fat, or if your people gonna have a problem with me being fat, let me know now.
Right.
It also got to the point for me that I would write a letter. I had a letter that I gave to every last one of my doctors, explaining who I am, explaining what my condition is, explaining also, I don't need you to tell me that I'm overweight, that I'm obese. Listen, I know that. Now let's get to the nitty gritty.
Exactly.
If you can't tell me something, that, because I can go for my big toe, and you gonna tell me I hit my big toe because I was overweight.
Exactly.
No, I need you to
That
get
toe
down.
too fat. That toe too fat.
That toe too fat, baby. I need you to get down to the get down because I done been mixed diagnosed or didn't get diagnosed early enough in certain situations where it became detrimental to me.
Right. Right.
Because all you seen was the fat. You couldn't get past the fat.
Yes. Yeah.
You couldn't get past, just physically what you seen.
Right.
Even like the lady I told you, she said, do the full workup. Cause I know she's going to be, you can take that back in there. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I know she's going to be,
Because she's gonna have everything. They just assumed you're gonna have.
yeah, I done said that time. But when they ran them tests, baby, and them things came back, I waited. I let her read it. And then when she came back and I let her know, I said, ma'am, I said, I heard everything that you said outside of that door. I said, that was very rude. I said, it was not professional. I say, and frankly, you could have kept your damn opinion to yourself.
Exactly. Let the science do the talking.
I said, so now that you have that I'm not a diabetic, I don't have high blood pressure, my cholesterol is good. Now that you have this information,
right.
I say I'll sit here and wait on my apology.
Exactly. And sometimes you have to be like that. And
deer in headlights. Like she looked like a deer in headlights. Like I say, yeah. I say checkmate.
Right.
I say, and I walked out her office. I say, and I will be letting people know how you treated me because see, you don't just know who you don't know who I am.
Right.
You don't just know who you had an encounter with.
Exactly.
And you have to stand flat feet and bold to these people.
You do. You do.
You have to deal with their ignorance. I dealt with a doctor who took a paper towel and touched me like this with the paper towel because they didn't want to touch me with their hands. They were so disgusted by me on that table. They just said anything to me, would not touch me, would not examine me, wouldn't do anything. It was so bad that the nurse, because I went off in the office and I left out, and the nurse came running behind me. This lady is in full tears. I am so sorry. I apologize. Please forgive me. And I was like, it wasn't you.
Right.
I said, you don't have to apologize for her ignorance.
That's right.
You don't. And when they said it, she's like, I say, and I understand that you was in a rock and a hard place because you need your job. I said, I fault you for that.
Right.
She was like, it is unbelievable. I do not believe that this just happened. I say it did. I say, but my only thing I ask of you, ma'am, is to give people warning when they come in.
Right.
They look like me.
Right.
I say, please warn them to turn the hell around.
Yeah.
This is not what they want to be.
And it's not always that, like you said, it's not always that in your face because some of the discrimination is subtle. But if you feel discriminated, then you got to acknowledge it. You have to be able to stand up. I remember being 18 and pregnant, and my period had been on, religiously it came on time. Hadn't been on for 3 months. Of course, I was sexually active. And I had taken a test and it was negative. And my mom was sensing something and she told me to take a test. And she said, well, go to the doctor and let them do a blood test because I never tested positive either. And so I went to the doctor and they refused to do the blood test. The doctor said, you're not going to be pregnant. And I said, how do you know that? Why did my period stop? And he said, you may never come back. You're too fat. And that's exactly what he said. And he shrugged it off. The nurse is standing there. She put her head down. And I had tears in my eye, and I said, so that's it, you're just not gonna do anything? And he said, you may never, it may never come back. It'll be fine. And he walked out, didn't give me anything, didn't do anything. 3 weeks later, I'm in the rush to the emergency room with a miscarriage. And I remember thinking about that. I didn't tell my mom because I knew that she was gonna go and advocate for me and, be upset. And I was there by myself and just feeling just so, just downtrodden, and not heard and not cared about, not anything. And I think about that a lot. My mom passed away at 48, and I remember her making sure that we went to the doctor. She had the weight loss surgery, but in years gained it all back. I never remember my mother going to the hospital for her or to the doctor for her. And it was because she had had an experience after the weight loss surgery when she started gaining the weight back and going in and saying, I'm gaining back. And they were just kind of like, oh, well, we tried. This is what happens when you're morbidly obese. It don't work for everybody. And I think that just kind of took her, down. But I think about that and just like you said, if we don't stand up for ourselves, then we have things that are festering inside our body. And when we finally go, it's too late.
It's too
That's
late.
sort of what happened, with my mom. And I don't want us to be having those experiences and to just miss out on life and the enjoyment of it. One, we're sitting at home, we're worried about what others gonna say, if the seats are gonna hold us. We're not even enjoying life. And so then we just sit at home and die, basically. We can't do that. We gotta get out. We gotta get out and we gotta enjoy our lives. And that's why I'm excited about you and just being the face of fat fashion, but always being out doing things and showing everybody that you can enjoy life. When you said before that even if I'm in this chair and my feet don't work, my body works, my heart works, my mind works, I can still enjoy things and being out in different places. And I want everybody to be able to enjoy these things, but also to stand up for yourself in the healthcare. You said something that I think was an important tip to leave with our sisters and brothers is that you write everything down and you come in with a letter already prepared. This is who I am. You may not have the words when you go in there. Trina and I are, this ain't like us, this ain't our first rodeo. We've experienced this. So we've developed the thick skin. We know how to pop off. If you come for us, we're going to give you what you came for. we know how to do that. Not everybody does. So you got to have some tools in your arsenal so that you are ready. And if one of those is to write everything down, I still do it when I'm going in. I write down my concerns so that I don't miss anything. If I haven't had a period, or if I've got a pain in my back, or look like my skin has been dry, I'm gonna write all of those things down because they might come in there and start saying some other stuff. I need these things addressed so I don't miss any of my things. Because it's one thing to give them your medical history and say that my mom had this, my dad had this, but let's focus on these things that matter to me. Let me, when you look at me, you say, okay, she's 540 pounds. This is not the highest I've been. Or I may have just lost 70 pounds, but you're not going to acknowledge that because you see me at this size. I'm already doing the things that I'm supposed to do, and it's slowly. So whatever you got going on in your life, if you're on a weight loss journey, if you're already starting it, whether you are or not, write those things down so that when you go into to see your provider, you already have everything down so that when they start talking, you don't forget anything. If you don't want to be weighed, there was an organization, I can't remember who it was, that they had these cards that say, only weigh me if it's medically necessary. You don't have to weigh me every time I come in. This ain't, you're not bringing a newborn. You want to see if they doubled their weight at 6 months. You don't have to do that. I remember after COVID, I had been 503 for years. And they kept saying, how do you maintain a weight of 503 pounds? Like, how does that happen? The one doc said, are you even weighing that? They said, every time it's been 503. Well, I came back after COVID and it was 548. And I believe she must have said that this nurse 15 times as loud as she can. At 548, you 548 pounds. What was that? So I think it's 548. Okay. You said that 50 times. What is it gonna change here?
And I would have been saying the same thing. What we doing here?
Right. What
If
has
I
that
say, you
changed?
say that to say what? That be me.
Exactly.
You say that to say what, girl?
Because it is not gonna matter. The 548 was the same if it was 543 or 498. It's still
Listen,
gonna be the same thing.
I walk right past that scale. Do you understand me? They know better. I walk right past that scale. I say, this is the ballpark. Let's make it work.
Right.
And
Exactly.
I mean,
You get a
because it's not
range and you
necessary.
just deal with it. You don't have to be weighed. You don't have
People
to
want
be
to be
intimidated by it.
humiliated.
Exactly.
Some people just want to put
Reality
you in a
is there
position of
are some,
humiliation.
if they have some constraints and they say, like I had to have a CT scan when they couldn't find out if I had, excuse me, the blood clots. And they said, well, something in your blood lead us to believe there might be, but we need to do a CT scan. And I said to them, how much does the CT scan, what's the maximum? We don't know. And I said, well, can you find out? Because I'm over 500. So I know that there may be a maximum, but that's a good thing to think about. Then they come back and say, oh, it's 500. So we can't do that. And so I guess we'll just do blood thinners. Like, that's it. That's where they stop. They're not going to try to do anything else. Let me call and see if another clinic, let me do anything. You got to advocate for yourself.
You got to.
Points that you got to advocate. I said, what would you do if you were in this situation? Would you take the blood thinners? Well, I wouldn't take the blood thinners because it's so much. So why are you just saying for me? Well, you don't have no other options. Oh, I always got some options. They always got some options. And he
You
said, well,
could
if
have
it was
sent
me,
me
I
out
would
to
just do
another
a CT
hospital.
scan. Right. I would just do a CT scan. I said, well, that's what I'm going to do. Well, you can't do it here. I said, I can do it somewhere. So while they're there, I'm on the Google trying to find a CT scan that can accommodate my weight. I find one at Northside Hospital in Lawrenceville here in Georgia. Theirs goes up to 660 pounds. So I give it to the doctor and they say, oh, okay, nice. But that's it. He doesn't call there and say, can we get her in over there? He just said, oh, okay, nice. So then that means at this point, I'm doing a la carte services here. So the doctor don't give a damn. He don't care what I got. If you're not going to take the blood thinners, we're done. And so now I've got to call another doctor to write a prescription to get me to go over there to take the test. And they were very good. But my point is, we have to be our own advocates. Sometimes you got to make the calls that you don't feel comfortable with to get the services you need because it's your health. I called a gynecologist office here that I had heard had some really low beds and you didn't have to get up, high on them. And it was really comfortable. And I said, oh, and I'm gonna try it out, see if it's fat friendly. And I called them up and I said to the receptionist, I just wanted to make an appointment, but before I did, I wanted to make sure that the beds or table could hold me.
Right.
I'm about 540 pounds. And she said, you what? I said, about 540 pounds. And she started laughing, literally laughing. And I said, hello? And she said, oh, well, I don't even know who I would ask that. Ain't nobody ever called and asked that. And I said, okay, well, is there someone else there that I could speak to? And she said, well, I mean, the beds is metal. I would hope they could accommodate 500 some pounds. That's her response. And then it's quiet. And I said, so that's it? We're done? Well, I don't know who else I would tell you to talk to. And I said, I would really like to know before I get there and I'm embarrassed that I can't get any services. Somebody has to know what the maximum weight capacity is of your equipment. And her response is, oh, well, let me transfer you to this person. So she transferred me and the other person was professional. And she said, let me get the office manager. She would know. And that person made an excuse. She said, well, I think she has a nervous laugh. I know exactly who you're talking about. Just excuse that. And I said, but I want you to understand how that looks for your practice. If someone's calling there, this is a medical community. We're calling about medical issues and they're calling for help and somebody's laughing at them. That not only can deter them from your office, but would deter them from making another call. So now this person is whatever they got going on, just sitting there seeping it. She said, well, I understand that. I'm gonna talk to the person. Well, the funny thing is, she said, I think that we have a bed in this our other location that goes to 600. I'm gonna check with them and give me 2 days and I'll call you back. I never heard back from her.
I'm about to say, did you hear from him yet?
Never.
Okay.
Never. But that
Like,
didn't stop me from calling and finding the location because my health is important to me. And so I just want
exactly.
all of you to know that your health has to be equally as important to you. Because as long as we're on this earth, we're supposed to be here in the best health possible so we can enjoy it and get the most enjoyment out of it. So you got to be willing to make the tough calls and join a community that you know is going to be supportive of you. Juicy Peaches is that. Lippy Warriors, if you have lymphedema, lipodema, and you already have some unique needs, join the community, get the support that you need so that you are able to get the services so that you can ask the questions. I understand how alone it feels when you don't have anybody else like you. And so you feel like you're the only one with these situations. But we got hundreds of us like us that are connected in the community and will answer your questions, will help you to come up with some ways to, answer some things, to put some thoughts out there and some feelers so that you get the services you need and you can get the most enjoyment out of life.
Yes, indeed.
That's what this has been all about. This is us coming to you to just say, we've had these experiences. We continue to have these experiences. Yes, they take us down. Yes, they upset us. Yes, they're frustrating and they're hurtful. But we got to keep getting up. We got to keep going out there. We got to keep showing up for ourselves and showing up for you. And now you got to show up for you. You got to stand up and say, I deserve some good health care. I'm going to make my health care a priority and I'm going to get out here. And
let me tell you something, not to cut you off, Unique, but also, if you are a person who cannot advocate for yourself, take somebody with you who can. Give them medical proxy to be able to speak on your behalf.
Yes.
And take somebody with you. If you're not that strong enough to do so, get you a support system. Get somebody in your village who can. Girl, call me, honey. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it is important and it is imperative that we stand up for ourselves. Because until they have somebody to check them in their mess, they are going to keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Yes, ma'am.
The next time they do it, you'll pop up in their head when they get ready to do that. Yeah. And it may shift the narrative. It may change their perception and how they feel. Yeah. We have to be the change. We have to stand flat foot and bold and just let these people know, I will not. Listen, yes, they are private practices, but they have boards, they have commissions, they have people that they still have to answer to.
That's right.
And do not be afraid to take it a step further.
That's right. And you don't be embarrassed.
I went to jail. Because I tore up a doctor's office. I'm not telling you to do that because I don't want
that. Please don't do that.
But that was my first time having that experience as an adult. And I didn't know how to handle it. Yeah. I didn't know how to compartmentalize it.
Right.
All I know is that you made me feel lower than a totem pole. All I know that you made me feel like I was scum of the earth. And I was in my early 20s, honey. And baby, you ain't have to worry about it no more. You ain't gonna never forget. But see, I was that rowdy, just off the chain, off the head. I wasn't into my adultisms like I am now. So,
and it can bring up rage in you. It can enrage you to be treated like that when you don't deserve it. When like everybody else just walks in and gets the care and the compassion and concern, and you get the looks and the stares and the resentment, and it's It's enraging. It's infuriating.
It is.
Oh, I get it. I definitely get it. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because that's another helpful tip, to take somebody with you who can advocate for you. And don't be embarrassed that they going, because I was embarrassed at 18. I knew my mom was going to come in there and say, oh, because I'm a child. So she may not go for her, but she was going to make sure that they treated me. And I didn't want that. I didn't want her saying that. I didn't want to have to tell my mom they talked about me because of my weight. I didn't want her to come and make a big scene. But I don't care how big the scene is now. I'm
Don't care about the
like
scene.
everybody else.
Do not care about
No.
what kind of scene it's gonna be. I have a best friend, and my best friend, like, even though I advocate for myself and I roll for myself, I fell down, and you can just sit it there, ma'am. I fell down, and when my best friend got there, I called her and I was like, girl, I done fell. I'm on this ground. I had my baby with me. And so I was like, okay, like, I can't get up off this ground. Like, I'm not going to panic. I'm not going to, because I don't want my baby to get scared.
Right.
So I called my best friend. I called the two people I know that, I can call who going to just drop whatever and come.
Right.
So when my best friend got there, I was at the doctor's office because I was taking my baby to the doctor. So she see the little nurses or whoever they were just standing around. I looked at her face. I was like, listen, they tried to do everything that they can. Because she was heated. Because it didn't look like nobody was trying to help me. Everybody was just standing around like I was some type of circus animal, and they was just all staring at me. So she just started going off. And I was like, oh, Lord. I said, girl, they tried to help. They tried to help. I just said, call EMS, let EMS get here, because I was hurt.
Yeah.
I was just like, let EMS come. Like, it is what it is. Let them help me up. Like, transport me so I can get to the hospital, whatever.
Right. But that's what you need. You need a mother hen, a mother bear that's going to come in and say, no, we take care of her. Make sure she get the services, because like you said, you have the ability to advocate for yourself. But in those times when you are down, or when you cannot, you got to get somebody who can. Now you can always call the patient advocate in any medical center, in any hospital. Ask for the patient advocate if you didn't bring somebody. Explain to them, they're social workers like me, that is their responsibility to make sure that they advocate on your behalf. But for me, like Katrina said, if you got somebody that you know is all about you, that's not working there every day with these people that you worry that they're going to be friends, take somebody with you. And don't be afraid of them, because you got a loud mouth one and you know they're going to go off, let them go off. It was going to be services.
And the ironic part was the nurse who was there, that was my best friend on her own waxing company. So them nurses were her clients.
Oh.
They had been to her.
Okay.
But at that point, she didn't see them as her clients. Like, why my best friend still on this ground? Why nobody tried to assist her? Why nobody trying to help her? Like, somebody need to be telling me something. Why is this? Why am I getting here? And she's still like she was. Like, so that was the whole big thing with her. Like, she just couldn't comprehend it or didn't understand it. But she's territorial like that when it comes to me. She's always like that, and I'm like that with her.
We need them in our corner.
So,
our friends, our family.
You got to step up and just be like, listen, this is what we're not going to do.
That's right. That's right.
This need to happen, this need to happen, and this need to happen.
Yes.
Like, you just have
to do your follow-ups and make sure that if somebody just drops the ball, no, you didn't care enough about my health care, but I do. So I'm going to make this call. And I'm going to make sure that I got this appointment. And I'm going to make sure that I got the decisions. Somebody's got to tell me something, and be proactive about it. There are some agencies that are working now that are doing really good work. Health at Every Size is one of those agencies. And what they're doing is putting together a list of doctors. Well, they do a lot of things, but one of the things they're doing is putting together a list of doctors and clinics that specialize in health at every size, that they're going to make sure that you're treated with respect at a size 2 or a size 42, that you're going to get the respect that you deserve, that they're going to treat you based on science-based methods, and that they're going to do things that are working for you. I remember reading about one of the doctors, and people laughed, and he said he had a lot of obese, patients, and he was trying to make sure that they felt comfortable. So he went out and bought the double wide chairs to make sure that there were as many of them in there as the regular ones, and that he got the thigh blood pressure cuffs that would fit around somebody's arm if they had, big meaty arms like ours, because the regular ones weren't fitting around. He wasn't getting a good blood pressure reading. He didn't want to be popping and you're holding it. So he said, well, the thigh ones are bigger, they'll work. Let me get those. And so he was thinking creatively to make sure that he could take care of his customers and make sure that they felt welcome in his office, that they, knew that they were thought about, and that all of these precautions were taken. And Health at Any Size is doing that. And they're putting all of these doctors together in different cities and states so that you can have a comprehensive list, and they're growing more each day. And so I'm going to put the link in this video that you could to Health at Every Size. Follow them on social media. Make sure that you are tuned in and set up for their alerts for when they announce more doctors to their list. They are excellent. Friendly Like Me, I talked about them before on one of our videos. I am going to add a link to Friendly Like Me. I'm going to add the Lawrenceville, the Northside Hospital, Lawrenceville, their CT scan to Friendly Like Me's page. They are doing a lot of the things that I absolutely love about reviewing places that are medical places, that are just nails, restaurants, entertainment, just to see if they're fat friendly. Can you get in here? If you had a scooter or a chair, can you go through the aisles? Is it just a one step to get in? Are the seats going to be able to accommodate you? Were the staff friendly? All of those things are, matter. And they're doing really good work there. I did say the Lippy Warriors, if you have lipedema, one of the lymphatic disorders, you need a community, somebody that cares, some people that share the same situations and just struggles that you and stressors in your life. Join Lippy Warriors on Facebook. I am going to put the link down there. And of course, Juicy Peaches is all about the supersized community. It's about getting out. It's about enjoying life, empowering you to take ownership of your life and your lifestyle, and to make sure that you know and you have every opportunity to handle anything that comes at you with a community, a sisterhood. We really are a true sisterhood, and I would love to have you in our fold. I said in the top of this hour that Miss Trina, I know you raised your hand. I'm gonna give you a minute. Give me 1 minute. Miss Trina is running for the face of fat fashion. This sister has been all about fat fashion, and Shima, let her tell you a little bit about this this occasion and what it is going to mean and why she should be the face of fat fashion. And as her flyer says, I am the face of fat fashion. Am I the face of fat fashion? I think she is. Tell us about it, Trina. Why did you decide to do this campaign?
Okay. First, let me say this. If you're in the Savannah area, Memorial Hospital down here is excellent. I just went. I just had a CAT scan. Their machine goes up to 750 pounds. Because I asked them, hey, this thing gonna hold me?
Right.
It was just like, I get people way bigger than you. We got this. Like, don't, everybody at Memorial has been great. So if you're ever in a situation, you're in Savannah, Georgia, near the area. I don't live in Savannah. I'm like an hour away, but I go there for anything medical. Anything medical, because that hospital is on point. Like
Hey.
they have everything you need right there in their hospital, and they have an indigent care program situation set up if you don't have insurance or whatever. So it is an excellent hospital. So I did want to drop that nugget.
Let's put
Um,
that on Friendly Like Me so everybody will know about it too, okay?
okay, because this is my first time hearing about Friendly
I'm
Like
gonna put
Me.
it, I'm gonna send you the link too, and
So
let's add
I
it to Friendly
appreciate
Like
that.
Me. Okay.
And the other company, like I have never heard of these people. So I have learned something today, and I am
Love that.
grateful for that.
I
Listen,
love that.
I love it. I'm like, oh, no, but
I
it's
love
okay.
it.
So, Face of Fat Fashion, it is actually a um designer, Diva Big, and she is a plus size designer, but she is mostly well known overseas.
Mm,
She put a documentary together talking about the discrimination pretty much of plus size individuals in the world, USA,
mm,
everywhere. We
mm,
just get discriminated against.
right,
We can't go in stores and find clothes that we can fit.
right,
We are not picked for roles in movies, and how we are not picked to walk these runways, how we are not picked to do all these different things. And so this is a documentary
okay.
that calls Fat Fashion, and Fat is Fashion. And so they're looking for a face of fat fashion. And I was like, hey, at first intimidation set in
Mm,
because
mm,
I knew I wanted to do it. I felt like I
right,
could do it.
right.
But because of me being handicapped and in a wheelchair,
Mm,
I was like, eh. But
mm,
then I was like, why not?
right.
Why
Exactly.
not you? I'm fat,
Exactly.
I'm fashionable,
That's
and
right.
I'm fabulous. So
That's
girl,
right.
let's
Exactly.
do this thing.
The triple
Like,
factor.
let's go.
That's right.
And a lot of BBWs now are getting these roles, are getting these things, but SSBBWs are left all the way out because they consider a BBW a size 12 and
Mm,
up,
12
and
to 24.
so and then SSBBW is like, we don't get no love,
Right.
none.
Right.
And the creator is a SSBBW. And
Mm,
that's what I love. And even with the premiere of this on June the 17th, the premiere of the documentary,
okay.
and that's when they're also going to announce who is going to be the face of fat fashion. And like
Okay.
I told them, I said, even if I don't win this contest,
Mhm.
I am definitely the face of fat fashion, and I will uplift, support, and cheer on anyone who is.
That's right.
Anyone who is, because of the simple fact, it's about the mission for me.
Right.
It's about somebody actually saying, look, we're tired of being overlooked.
That's right.
You will not sit us in the back. You don't want to give us a seat at the table. So we have begun to
Exactly.
build our own table.
Exactly. That's
We have built our own table with our own hands.
that's right.
We
Right.
collected the wood.
Yeah.
We sanded the wood. We put the
Exactly.
wood together. We put the tarnish on, the varnish on.
Exactly. Exactly.
Then we had the nerve to make our own seat, the size we needed it,
That's right.
and we pulled it up to the
And pulled
table.
it up to the table. That's right.
So this is why this movement is so very important. And I also, during our meetings and stuff, I say, listen, I need to know, y'all talking about the fabulousness and, the
Right.
opulence of all, my word is opulence
Exactly.
of everything that is going on. But I need to know, is this a fat friendly event?
Right.
Is this a SSBBW friendly event? I
Friendly
said, because I
event.
don't need,
That's
I say,
right.
all my people is SSBBW
Right.
who I'm rocking
Exactly.
with. And I don't
And I
need us
love
coming
that you
here not
asked that
having nowhere
question.
to sit or
Right.
nowhere to move or nothing. She said, I wouldn't have it no other way.
I love
I
that
made
you asked
sure.
that question.
So it's SSBBW friendly, handicap accessible. So
Mhm.
I said, okay, no
Okay.
problem. Keep the party going.
Yes.
So, I am excited about it. I'm excited about the documentary. They have Mael, who is sponsoring it, along with Ashley Stewart, all these big names.
Mhm.
They have just a whole bunch of great people.
Okay.
A plus size modeling agent, Miss Nikki,
Mhm. How can
is
people support you in this?
support me.
Support your run. Are they still selling tickets?
Yes, they're selling tickets. I only have one person bought a ticket so far. So it is what it is. I have to sell a certain number of tickets,
So
but
will we have a link that we can put down?
yes, I do have a link
Okay.
that you can go to, and you can always go to www.fatisfashion.com.
Okay.
Um and definitely go look and purchase a ticket. And if you purchase a ticket, just put Katrina, Barnes Walker in the little note tab after you purchase your ticket.
Okay.
Just put my name in there, and that will go to my credit.
Okay.
Excuse
Well,
me,
I
because
haven't got my ticket yet, but I am going to be getting it, and I
yes,
will
ma'am.
definitely be there to support you. So I'm
Yes, ma'am.
excited
Yes,
that you did
ma'am.
this, that you
Listen.
stepped up and said, I'm worthy. Why shouldn't I do it? Regardless of my abilities or my physical abilities, I am definitely worthy of the title. And you are. You are
Thank
absolutely amazing. And I'm excited to see how this turns. I
you.
believe you are the face of fat fashion.
Thank you, girl. I
And I'm so
appreciate
excited.
it.
Thank you
Listen,
so much for spending this hour with me and for helping me to just make sure that all of our sisters and brothers in the SSBBW and the lymphedema community, lymphedema, lipodema, lymphatic disorder community know that they are not alone in their struggles to make themselves feel one in the healthcare community.
yes,
Absolutely.
ma'am.
And so,
And the people who has polycystic ovarian syndrome. Like I have the condition
okay,
polycystic ovarian syndrome. So I'm talking about it, I'm advocating for it, I'm getting more, because it's more people I'm finding out that is suffering in silence with this as well. And the doctors are just like, oh, it is what it is. So let's lift those people up and remember them as well, because we
absolutely.
go through a lot even during with that
That's
condition as
right.
well. So
And I
we'll
think it's
have that
important.
conversation on another day.
After we sure will, we'll definitely come back. Because what we don't want people to do is suffer in silence. Just you're not alone. There is a community for you. Come out and join these communities. I'm going to have a lot of links at the end of this video. Make sure that you check the About Us section and look at the links. Click on them. Join some communities. Come out and just make sure that you feel whole. Because if you're sitting as a shell of who you used to be because you've gained weight, or if you've always been inside, I was a fat kid. I've always been big. And you've just never felt like you mattered in this world, that anybody was paying attention to you. Let us help you to bring that out so that you can feel and know that you matter, because you absolutely do. You matter to
Yeah.
us, and we are going to keep coming back with a whole lot more. And we'd love to see you at some of our events. If you're in the Atlanta area, we have our meet and greet for Juicy Peaches on Sunday, Vibes Nightclub. We've got a comedy show. We've got all plus size comedians that are going to be there. So we are going to have a jam good time. I will have the link for those tickets. Come out and join us. Have a good time. We
Go.
are getting ready for our Let's Get Outside campaign. We're approaching summer. It's time to get out. Hot girl summer in effect, baby. It's time to get out there. So thank you
Yes,
guys for
ma'am.
joining us. We appreciate you. Thank you, Trina.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you giving me this moment and this time, y'all. I'm gonna look better next time. She cleans up well.
Great now. You look great now. Absolutely. She
Thank you
does
so
clean up
very much.
well.
I love you so much.
I love you. And I'll talk to you soon. Okay, my love?
Okay, darling.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and please share with anyone who you think could benefit from this conversation. We'd also love your feedback. So if this conversation touched you in any way, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear.